All right, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Amanda Lowe, and I'm the board chair for CTC. I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. This is a great opportunity for CTC and our community and the communities that we serve. It's my pleasure to introduce Administrator Burke today. So please, welcome to CTC, and thank you for coming.
Thanks so much. It is a pleasure to be here. And it's funny how people show up when you have money. Always my jokes are a little funnier. I'm a little bit sharper dressed from people. But it is great to be here. They did an amazing job with this. This doesn't even look like a work area now. You could eat out here. This is fantastic. Thanks so much to Amanda, and thanks so much to you, Christy, for putting this all together. I'll get right to it. I really want to thank CTC, all the workers that are all around here that have made this possible. CTC has been a huge partner to RUS and over the last several years. And the reason is because y'all fit our mission, and hopefully we fit your mission, which is to make sure that people live a high quality of life and have the economic fortunes that they work for and deserve. And we see that every day. Over the course of many years, CTC has done an amazing job. Please give a round of applause to everybody here from CTC. Also want to make sure that I thank Senators Klobuchar and Smith and their representatives who are here for their work. It turns out that I don't have a lot to do if I don't have any money. And all that money comes from the United States Congress, and particularly Senators Klobuchar and Smith are huge players in the ag world, which is, I'm inside of USDA, so I'm the head of the Rural Utilities Service. We're inside of the Department of Agriculture. Both of them have immense platforms to really do a lot in this world, and so their advocacy is amazing for y'all and for what we do, and so I really want to say big thank you to them. And I know we have representatives for Governor Walz here as well. Obviously, he's been a huge player in this, and is going to be a player for years to come with more funding. And so we really appreciate the governor's leadership on this. What I want to do is I want to take a little bit more time than I usually would, and I know everybody's going to groan now, but I want to take a little bit more time because this is the last high-speed internet event that I'm going to do in my job, and this is something I've been working on for a long time, so I just want to spend a minute and kind of give y'all a perspective on where we've been and where we are. So I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Y'all probably thought with my y'alls that I'm from Minnesota. Turns out I'm not. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I had the good fortune to be the mayor of Chattanooga, and we were the first city to do universal high-speed broadband all around the city. We got the nickname Gig City, and it really did change our fortunes. When I was growing up, Chattanooga was a place that when I graduated high school, I was like, I'm never coming back here. And then thanks to the work of civic leaders and people, I became, wanted not only to come back, but to become the mayor. And then we built out this high-speed network. You became the first gig city, the first 10 gig city, the first 25 gig city. Nobody actually needs 25 gigs, don't tell anybody. And what we saw was that our fortunes really did improve. We had one of the highest wage growths in the country for a mid-sized city. In 2020, Forbes said we'd be the #1 place in America for new jobs. 2020 didn't quite turn out that way, but I don't really think that was my fault. But we saw what high-speed internet could do for our residents. And so for most of the last decade, I flew around the country talking about the fact that we needed to have universal high-speed internet everywhere. And people told me over and over again that was just never going to happen. We would keep doing more funding and more money and more things, but we were never going to get to universal high-speed internet. Then COVID happened, and the response to that was overwhelming. And because of the bipartisan infrastructure law, President Biden was able to make a pledge that every American will have access to affordable high-speed internet. This was critical. And so we changed from a country that said, you know what, it's okay, it's important, but we'll just keep making kind of incremental progress, to a country that said the standard. What we expect is that every single American has access to this resource because it is just like roads or water or electricity. And in 2024 and now 2025, as weird as that is to say, it really is the new utility. And just like, RUS started as the Rural Electrification Administration, so the places that were around Chattanooga, the rural areas around Chattanooga where I grew up, the reason that they had any economic activity at all is because Franklin Roosevelt said 90 years ago, we got to electrify America to improve the fortunes. And the modern day version of this is that President Biden has said, we're going to do this for everybody. And thanks to the funding that your senators and other members of Congress did, particularly through the bipartisan infrastructure law, we now have that chance. And so, here's the dramatic difference that I like to think about. So a few years ago, I was making a grant in Mississippi, and I was going into the parking lot, and somebody else was driving, and we were doing it at a school because there were going to be people there, so you got to show up where there are going to be people. As we drove into the school, the person I was with stops the car and he says, "Look to the right." And I look to the right in the school parking lot, and there is a sign that says, "For best internet, park here," right? And I think about that sign every single day. I really do. And yet we go to another world where I was in the Black Range Mountains in New Mexico, and this is, I had some friends I had dinner with that night in Albuquerque. They'd never even heard of where I was. That's how remote this place is in New Mexico. And a woman named Catherine Wanick, she ran a lodge there, and they had 21 rooms. And they had just gotten high-speed internet thanks to a Reconnect grant from RUS. And what she told me was this was going to change her business because although people get out there to be removed from society, they still want internet. And she went from having basically somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 meg up and down. And for those of you who don't know much, that means you might be able to send some email if you're not doing anything else there, to 155 meg. And what that was going to do for her is they had a banjo festival that was out there. That was the most popular thing every year. And they were going to broadcast it now, live stream it on the internet, and that would be a way to expand their business and show who they are. That's what high-speed internet means. And right now in rural America, we are in a different time because even compared to 5 or 6 years ago before COVID, you often had to make a choice between living in the place that you love and having the job that you want. And now more than ever, you can have both. And so the chances, I know I was talking to the commissioner just a few minutes ago, to see development and have people live in this beautiful place, really beautiful place, is immense. And that brings economic opportunity and fortune for you. So today, I'm here to announce this award to CTC, our $5.5 million award. And this is going to be part of a much larger project that they're doing, but it follows several awards that we've made to CTC and that we've watched them use wisely. And overall, this is part of a $313 million that we're announcing today all across the country in 18 different states. To give you some idea, during this administration, we've done about $4.2 billion worth of new high-speed internet awards. We've got 96 different projects that are in construction, and we are seeing a difference in rural America. So on behalf of the Biden-Harris administration, we want to say we're proud to be here to make this award. We thank you for the great work that you do on behalf of our constituents and your members. We know this is going to make a difference in these counties, and we look forward to the day where not only we have the groundbreaking, but we turn on the new houses and see this come alive. Thank you very much. So I do want to just say this may actually be slander and not helpful, but she is thought of very well in Washington, D.C. Again, y'all take that how you want. Maybe that's not a good thing. But she is a true leader, and so I'll turn it over to you, Christy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. And I just want to recognize that we have some really amazing leaders from our state here and from our county here, and I just appreciate all of you. Thank you to Senator Klobuchar's office and Senator Smith's office for also being here today. It's great, and Matt, nice to see you from the Office of Broadband and the DEED Commissioner too. So I just want to start by saying, Andy, thank you very much for all that you have done as the leader of RUS. I will tell you that since the Reconnect projects came into play, RUS works so well with Reconnect, and it is a great government funding program with all the right things happening with it. So thank you for that. And Brett is our GFR here also from RUS. Brett lives in our service territory, so he gets to actually use our product. And thank you for everything for making these awards happen. I want to talk just a little bit about the award today that touches Morrison and Crow Wing County. You can see from the map here, it's a perfect award that fits right into our footprint. It's in our back door, and we're going to get the opportunity to construct that late 25 and into 26. And so this year we'll focus on the engineering of that project. And what's interesting about this award is that this is a loan grant match. So while it's a $5.5 million grant, we're also being awarded to be able to apply for or have the $5 million loan to it. And that loan then helps us because we don't have to pay back on the loan for the first 3 years. And so that makes it viable that we can go connect customers and have the money in the bank to be able to pay this back to get rural America served. And so we thank you for that. Crow Wing County thanks you. Morrison County also thanks you for that. But I want to focus on two things, if I could. One is just when we talk about small business and economic development and growth, what you'll see is that we have a freelance photographer that lives outside of Little Falls, Minnesota. And at her home today, she can't upload her photography. And so it takes her hours at her home to make that happen. And she wrote to us and told us about what this would do to her business to be able to upload in real time. She said, my parents have CTC internet in Fort Ripley. And she said, so I go to their house and it takes me less than 5 minutes to get it done. And so it's those small entrepreneurs that also get that opportunity in rural America, which I always think is just great. But the other piece I want to thank RUS for, because we have been a borrower of RUS for 50 years, I don't know, a very, very long time. And all these people back here, these employees of CTC, they get to work here because of programs like this. They get to have careers, they get to have their family, they get to have their benefits, and they get to have the opportunity to build the future of our country in building broadband. And those employees, we've been able to add over 40 new employees since I've started in the role, and we're up to 96 employees, and we'll go over the 100-point mark. We're $45 million in revenue today, which is a huge jump from where we were. And all of that goes back to our membership. And that's the beauty of a co-op, is that we're building it for all of the right reasons. We're building it for people to have sustainability in their lives and in their homes. And so on behalf of the employees of CTC, the board of CTC, I also thank you. And now I'm going to sing a Christmas carol. No, I'm not going to sing a Christmas carol. I just had to take the Christmas opportunity. So with that, please feel free to help yourself to treats over there put together. We have our splicing trailer set up, so if anyone wants to splice some fiber, Josh, you want to wave your hand over there? Josh is going to give fiber splicing lessons, and it's a great photo opportunity to be back there splicing the fiber together. So feel free to do that. Also, MC Fiber is a new company under CTC's ownership, also an RUS project. MC Fiber now will start constructing our own fiber. We do this jointly with Meeker Electric Co-op. We're 50-50 in this business. And what's really cool is that MC Fiber spun up this year, and the guys are going to go south this winter and actually build fiber in Kansas. And so they're going to be doing another project award there. And yeah, we get to keep them employed all year. So that's pretty awesome too. So with that, I'm going to close and just again say thank you, Merry Christmas to all of you, and here's to 2025.